My English is C2, not because I'm trying to be arrogant, but because I have a C2 certificate, cum laude, maximum points in English. I did get that, so I have got that one certified. But I would put my French and my Spanish into the B1 sector. So, it's one of those situations. Interesting. Where is his Italian? Oh, Italian is also B1. Well, at least he's going to speak. I was hoping for his Italian to be a little higher.
Which is to the graph, as you can see right here. But this was pretty hard to map because he doesn't actually go out there and claim like ability in different languages like what most hyper-polyglots and polyglots, the supposed ones do, where they say, I'm fluent in 20 languages or I'm a master. But when asked, he responds with what he thinks his level is in the language. And this is basically what you're seeing here on the screen. It was what he thought his language was. This is not him promoting his language with these abilities, basically. Now, the one in red, obviously native. Blue is the languages that he speaks.
Okay, so he's an Anglophone. I wonder where he's from.
And then that Dutch purple over there was kind of like the joke that he put at the beginning of the video. Now, obviously, Dutch, he doesn't speak, but we did actually review it, and it is in the document if you want to check it out. Now, you'll see there's a bunch with question marks next to it. It's because he didn't really clarify, so we kind of had to guess where it would where it should go based on other comments. And you can also see Croatian we put inactive because he mentioned that he hadn't spoken this language in 5+ years, I believe. But let's jump into those...
Probably a bit like my French then.
...languages now. So what we're going to do is we're going to review a segment, and then I'll show you the comments, and then I'll put it on the graph.
Okay, so he starts with Croatian. I do not know anything about Croatian, so let me move Khmer, Luganda, Portuguese. I'm actually curious with this Portuguese. Let's check it out.
Immersion, actually listening to native speaking, I believe B1 wouldn't be far from him. And there you go. It's been pushed up a little bit, just under the B1 range.
Falo português com sotaque de Portugal, porque consigo ir ao país há 7 anos. Gostei muito do país. As pessoas são muito calorosas e também a comida é saborosa. Mas tive problema, porque as pessoas pensavam que eu fui espanhol. Então, falavam comigo metade espanhol e metade português.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. His translation is what he's saying. He stops a lot to stumble around what he's saying. Though a lot of his word choices align more with cognate with a Spanish word and less with this is the word a Portuguese speaker would use. As you can see, we've got a bunch of comments in here for Portuguese. He's clearly not anywhere near fluent, nor does he claim to be. His pronunciation leans heavily towards Spanish, often straight out switching to Spanish words halfway through the sentence.
I'll be honest with you, when people speak Italian and switch halfway through to Spanish, it annoys me profusely. This is something that, for instance, Kaufman does a lot, which pisses me off. So I hope that that's not what's going to happen when he speaks Italian.
He pauses a lot. His pronunciation doesn't sound...
he pauses a lot, is not a big deal. Natives do that too. I mean, sure, if you want to be considered fluent, usually you imagine a certain speed and pace and rhythm. Because if you are... I like to look at... if you do this, once again, natives do it. But I guess as a foreign language learner, if you do that, would you be considered fluent? Because again, we expect a certain speed in fluency. Yeah.
Like European Portuguese to me.
Oh, it doesn't sound like European Portuguese. I see. A choppy mix between Brazilian, European, and as you say, a little bit of Spanish. So Lao, Indonesian, Swahili, Japanese. Let's go.
And as you can see, his Swahili has been pushed down to A2.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at his Japanese.
外国語がベラベラになりたいなら、この言語が話されている国に行くのに確かに役立ちます。
I can already tell that he's forcing the accent a bit. The pronunciation is not great. The structure is fine. I don't know if it's rehearsed though. But he did claim B1, so I mean, for a B1, sure.
しかし、それは
Did he say shikashi?
役立ちます。しかし、それは必要じゃないです。
Yeah, like, それは必要じゃないです. It's like you can tell he doesn't speak this much with people. It's very choppy, once again. But he does seem to be able to speak it. So if this is not memorized, if he speaks like this with Japanese people over a variety of topics, cool. He speaks it at that point.
必要なのは自分の学びたい言語の学習環境を作ることです。
Okay, we got a ton of comments on his Japanese. As you can see, I'm scrolling through them all.
Yep.
Highly recommend you guys go check out the document, but overall, it is this here. But overall, the comments basically focus around this. Pronunciation is his biggest problem. Grammar, some mistakes, but none that change the meaning of what he wants to say or make. Vocabs around B1. All in all, his failing of the N2 by...
And even then, it's such a short clip, the one we just watched, that you don't really know if his vocabulary is B1 because sure, Gengo no gakushu hoho, like gakushu is indeed a little bit of a higher, instead of saying like benkyo, I suppose, but you don't know if that's simply because he's prepared this little section, but then if he speaks normally, then the vocabulary kind of lowers a little bit. That's what usually happens in these cases, but
2 points makes him a solid B1. However, his speaking is a little below that if he works on his pronunciation.
Also because I would not use the N2 they're referring to Nihongo no Ryoku Shiken, so the Japanese language proficiency test. Japanese language proficiency test is necessary for work, I suppose, depending on what you want to do. But it's not a great indicator on how you speak a language because you have to spend so much time learning kanji and listening and reading that oftentimes you can have someone who is capable of passing the test and learns the mechanics of the test and practices it a lot, but is not as good as someone who didn't take the test but spoke with Japanese a lot more with the Japanese. Japanese language proficiency test it's a good thing to do, and the people that do pass it, particularly when it's high levels, they're great. You know, it's a fantastic achievement, but it's not a great indicator of how we should expect someone to speak.
So basically, he did mention in one of the comments that he almost failed he just failed the N2 test in Japan. Now, if you have a look right here, we actually had him interviewed in French, German, and Japanese. I'm not going to repeat this as we come up to those languages, but there is going to be a link in the description to this document and this link here. You can actually go and listen to him speaking Japanese with one of our interviewers.
Cool.
As you can see right here, Japanese.
Well, let me see if I can see that, because that would be interesting. Yeah, I found it. Let's check it out.